Alright, here we are with All in Red, Game 1, and I think this hand is keepable. 7 cards, and we can play all but one of them on turn 1, and we're on the play. So, we're just going to Simian Spirit Guide, Simian Spirit Guide, and Simian Spirit Guide. Chandra, plus for mana, and Chalice on 1. Kind of a profitable first turn, and our opponent concedes. Welcome to Modern. So, this was obviously not a representative hand. This was pretty good on the play. 3 Simian Spirit Guides, Chandra turn 1. This is a good opportunity to talk about sideboarding, both when you don't know what your opponent's on and they do know what you're on. So with this deck, I probably wouldn't change too much post sideboard, but if I was playing something like Tamir Aetherworks in Standard, and my opponent mulliganed, and then I just killed them with Aetherworks Marvel, activated it, got Emrakul, and they conceded before I took their turn, it's a good you can still sideboard even when you don't know what your opponent's playing, because you know that they know what you're playing, which is information, and it's pretty good information a lot of the time. For example, say there are 3 decks in the format, the Blue-White Flash, Green-Black Delirium, and Red-White Aggro decks. Obviously there are more decks than that, but say 90% of the format is very focused on those decks. And then there's a card like Tireless Tracker that you're bringing in anyways against say Blue-White Flash and Green-Black Delirium. In almost every matchup, say you're bringing in Tireless Tracker. You're going to want to bring in Tireless Tracker anyways some of the time, just because it's a good post-board card. Not because you know it's going to be good, but because your opponent is going to be attacking a specific part of your deck, in this case, Aetherworks Marvel. You know that. Even though you don't know what they're on, say you have an 80% guess that they are going to be on Blue-White Flash or Green-Black Delirium, and Tireless Tracker is going to be good in post-board games there. You can just bring it in anyways. And it's important to do that with things, not things like, say, Shattering Spree, which are very specific against a certain deck, but general things like Tireless Tracker or Relic of Progenitus, which at worst just cycles. Even if you guess wrong, it's not that devastating. But anyways, I digress, and I got rid of a card out of the sideboard forever. Whoops. I think it was Pithy Needle. No, wait. It's Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt, and 4th Lightning Bolt. Maybe. Well, whatever. So I didn't actually sideboard when I won this game, because All in Red, there isn't too much you could do in the way of sideboarding. You're kind of all in. I mean, maybe I could have got rid of Tibalt because it shouldn't be in the main deck anyways, but that would kind of defeat the whole purpose. And I actually won this match. It was a very short match, so I'm not going to show any more of it. So this is a whole new match. Alright. So, we are on the play we have Magus of the Moon and Mind Stone and 3 mountains. Now this hand isn't great, but it's a turn 2 Magus. We have Mind Stone for cycle. We have Desperate Rituals to ramp us if we do draw a Planeswalker, so we decide to keep it, even though we are not particularly happy about it. And there's Chandra, which is pretty much the best draw. So we can double Desperate and play Mind Stone. Not quite the start of last time, and our opponent even fetches a mountain against us, which is not a good sign. And they go ahead and bolt Chandra, so I mean Chandra is fairly fragile, and now it's going to take some time until she can deal with a creature and not die herself. And there we plussed and hit Koth, which is a huge misplay. Should have definitely played a land there first. In Standard, I kind of get used to plussing before I play land if I have Tireless Tracker in my deck. A lot of the time, assuming I can cast everything in my deck. If I can cast an Emrakul off my lands, then I definitely don't play my land first unless I'm going from 9 to 10 for Ulamog or something specific. Usually if I am playing that extra land and it allows me to cast something extra, I usually just play the land first though, to be safe. And here, I mean, it was a no-brainer to play a land first. That was just a clear misplay. I could have hit another Chandra or Koth, and Koth is perhaps the most punishing card to have hit. I could have played Mountain and then just minus Koth and played Magus of the Moon and had a free Koth. Here we just have to play Magus though. And here's an interesting choice, because either we're saying we're all in on Magus of the Moon, or we're all in on Chandra at this point. Now Chandra can draw cards, but is going to die to the Kiln Fiend, most likely, if we want to get rid of the Magus of the Moon. The Magus of the Moon can actually trade with the Kiln Fiend and just leave our Chandra, which means we're getting rid of the Kiln Fiend, which is kind of the most tempting part of just blocking with the Magus of the Moon. The Chandra is more fragile than the Magus though, but the opportunity to kill Kiln Fiend is too tempting. So I think we just have to block, and there's the hesitation as I think about it, and then we get Mutagenic Growth. So now we're in a pickle. Here I play my land first when I don't even have 5 drops in the deck, but good for me. And we hit Anger of the Gods, so pretty pleased about that, because it looks like we'll be able to kill Kiln Fiend. Of course, opponent has another Mutagenic Growth, which is not good. So now we're thinking our Chandra is going to die, and our opponent is thinking that he is going to make a gigantic Kiln Fiend and kill us, which, I mean, is also okay. So we are dead. So sideboarding against this all-in deck. So I think we want Lightning Bolts, Flame Slashes. Dragon's Claw is okay, depending on what we're cutting. Relics don't do much. Blood Moons actually don't do a whole lot. Although we did see a lot of colors from our opponent, so I think we want some amount of Blood Moons. We always keep in Tybalt, obviously. And, yeah, Chalices are actually not great against them because they still trigger Kiln Fiend and Thing in the Ice, but their deck is comprised of a lot of 1 or even 2 drops, if we can get down a chalice on 1 or 2, we're happy to do so. But here, we're mostly just wanting removal and possibly Sun Droplet or Dragon's Claw, although, again, we're going to die very abruptly most of the time. And even Ensnaring Bridge isn't that great, but I think it's still necessary since it doesn't stop Kiln Fiend from attacking if it has 1 power a lot of the time if we haven't emptied our hand. But that's pretty solid sideboarding. And then we are on the play, and this time we have turn 1 Blood Moon, which is a lot more tempting than turn 2 Magus of the Moon, so we're definitely going to keep this. Again, don't really have any threats at the moment, but we're hoping this Blood Moon just disrupts our opponent at least for 3 cards that we spent. We're hoping to at least get that amount of value back, if not just winning the game outright. And we even have an answer to a Kiln Fiend if there's no mutagenic growth involved. So that's pretty good. Of course, I wasn't thinking about Metamorphose, which is actually very good against Blood Moon as well. And here's Chandra that if we could have cast Chandra that turn, we would have been in an excellent spot. As it stands, our opponent just does not care about our Blood Moon at all, and flips his man, although he missequenced that and returned his Monastery Swiftspear that was getting mutagenic growth, so a little bit of a missequencing, but it's not going to matter because there's a 7-8 on the other side of the board, and right now all we can do is draw Ensnaring Bridge, so I was trying to set up for that by killing the Swiftspear. But now even Ensnaring Bridge doesn't save us, and we're just dead, obviously. And quick matches, but some interesting spots. I mean, the key Modern is often about 1 key brutal misplay, and I missed that Koth, and that could have been an important piece of the puzzle. Although I was probably gonna just lose that game anyways. But yeah.